guys doing? My name is Chris Matthews. I'm your relationship coach and licensed marriage and family therapist. In this video, I want to give you guys 6 keys to prevent cheating and extramarital affairs. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Key 1, remember your commitments. When you and your partner were in front of family and friends at the altar, you guys may have spoke or recited vows. Remember those vows. A lot of times couples don't revisit their vows after the wedding day. So a couple of things you can do to remind yourself of your commitments. Take a picture and frame your vows and have them somewhere that you can look at them daily. My wife and I, we actually have a large portrait with our vows written in it that is in our room. So every morning we wake up and we leave out, we get to see our marital vows. We get to be reminded of what we signed up for. And remember, monogamy, if that's your choice, or exclusivity that comes by way of a marriage, that's a choice. So if you decide to make a different choice, let your partner know so they can then respond accordingly. I recall when I first started dating my wife, and we were 19 at the time, and we had a conversation. It was a very direct conversation, and we both agreed that if either of us felt the desire, the urge to step outside of the intimate relationship, and we desired other partners, that we would let the other one know first, and it would be no hard feelings, and we would go our separate ways. We made that choice to respect each other, and even to this day, that still stands. So when you make that marital commitment, remember those vows, and if you decide that you don't want to be within those vows, let your partner know, and at that point, you don't have to have the scars of cheating or infidelity on your hands. The second point to prevent cheating in extramarital affairs: protect yourself from the cheating danger zones. So what are some examples of cheating danger zones? Work is a big example for a lot of people who may travel and they are attracted to colleagues or coworkers. Another example is the internet and social media. Our eyes can tempt us. So if you're on Instagram or a social media platform and you're constantly looking at images of people who you're attracted to, then you're setting yourself up to fall victim when a message comes through. I have a good friend. His marriage ended, unfortunately, because he was on social media and there was a picture of a lady that was sending different images through her profile that caught his attention. He then responded. He sent pictures of himself, and then the lady began to ask for money. He sent money. The requests began to become so frequent that he eventually had to tell his wife, because the lady on Facebook threatened to do so. And as a result, it broke his marriage, and he's no longer with his partner. That's an example of someone falling victim to a cheating danger zone. Another example would be to be mindful of single or unfaithful friend groups. Have you ever heard the phrase, birds of a feather flock together? So if you are married and committed and love your partner, and you're always with friends who are single or who are married but they don't value their own vows and commitments, then you can be caught up within those behaviors. So don't try to rely on willpower. At the end of the day, just put yourself in good positions around people who share the same views and values as it associates with their marriage and commitments, and that'll keep you safe. The third point or factor that can help with preventing cheating: create open lines of communication. When you decide to marry a person, you're saying you're going to be with that individual for the rest of your life. For most people, that's a long time. You're going to change. They're going to make you upset. Your marriage is going to go through transitions and transformations. During those transitions and transformations, have dialogue, have conversation. Let your partner understand where you are mentally and emotionally and physically. That's going to be critical because they'll know how to respond. A lot of times in my work as a therapist, when people cheat, they usually begin to do so once there's been a rupture in the emotional connection. What we find in therapy is that the partner who's getting cheated on wasn't aware of the ruptures, and they didn't know how to fix it or make it better because they weren't given an opportunity. Another big piece when it comes to open lines of communication: discuss together how to proof your marriage from infidelity. That looks like discussing the rules, the do's and don'ts. My wife and I, we're a little bit stricter than a lot of couples. We don't have exclusive friends of opposite gender. So I don't have a list of female friends that I communicate with that are not mutual friends of my wife. So we have couple friends, but I don't have female friends that I'm taking out to dinner and lunch, calling and confiding in. She doesn't have a group of male friends or a male friend she's calling, going out to lunch and confiding in. Now, that might be rigid for some couples, and I get it. I'm not saying that you would have to adopt that same principle. What I am saying is that you need to have the open lines of communication to understand what both you and your partner need that's going to fit and work for your marriage. That's very huge. Another piece: invest in marriage education classes and courses. I have a lot of courses on my website that help update and educate couples to have the conversations to prevent infidelity. We also have an infidelity prevention program and course, which is actually one of our top sellers, because in this day and age where sex sells and every time you look there's some naked person or attractive person, it's easy to get distracted. So it's critical to have those dialogues and conversations with your partner so you keep your bond close knit. The fourth key to preventing affairs and infidelity: make your marriage a priority. I want to say that's the most important one. You will hear in a lot of my videos about how your marriage is something that is a living, breathing organism. The same way your phone battery has to be charged every night, you have to put that marriage on the charger every day. That looks like communicating with your partner. It looks like setting aside time daily to connect and reconnect and process. Even if it's just for a short period of time, the consistency is where the value comes into play. Making sure that life doesn't get so busy that you don't have time for each other. The fifth trait that's going to help you guys prevent extramarital affairs: maintain a good sex life. Sex is important. As I've shared in other videos, humans rely on sex for connection. They rely on sex for esteem. Sex is very critical for our development when it comes to growing a relationship, especially a marriage. So be intentional about setting time aside. It's okay to count. If you find yourself going a couple days, weeks not engaging in sex, ask your partner what's going on. Be open with trying new places or things to spice up your sex life. Imagination and creativity is very important to sustaining a good sex life. And it's important to also read and explore. So if you don't have a creative side, the internet's a great place to start. There are a lot of good sex therapists out there that have produced material and will host a session with you and your partner to help you have these dialogues to sustain a strong, gratifying sex life. The sixth point, last and final sixth point to help you guys prevent infidelity and extramarital affairs: make time for meaningful conversations. I tell partners in therapy, sex starts way before touch. Sex can start when partners begin to enhance their connection. There's a yearning and a desire to want to be with each other. In order to grow that connection, meaningful conversations are critical. And the conversations can be pleasurable. One of the things I see that couples will do is they'll reminisce. Pull out the wedding photos. My wife and I, we actually created a scrapbook during the first couple years of dating. And every year or so, we'll pull that out around anniversary time, and we look at the pictures. For our 10th year anniversary, I made a collection of all the poems and letters that I'd written there over the years. We go through those. On our phone, we look at pictures. We look at pictures of dates we may have had. We watch little videos of ourselves. We're reminded every day of the connections that we established with each other, and we make time to reflect on each other by way of meaningful conversations. I hope these 6 points were helpful. I do believe that if you've experienced infidelity or cheating, You can save your relationship by rebuilding a new marriage. If you need to get coaching or counseling, we have resources online. Also, once again, there will be multiple videos that you can see through this channel that help you prevent infidelity and give you some pointers if you're in a position where you need treatment for infidelity. Once again, my name is Chris Matthews. I'm your relationship coach, licensed marriage and family therapist, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side for the next videos.
Oh, you can never go back. I gotta take it on the other side.